Welcome to A Wealth of Useless Knowledge, where we dive into some fun and entertaining topics. You're sure to learn something new here, and maybe even have a laugh or two. Now let's get into today's video. There's a saying that goes, believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see. But what happens when you can't even believe what you're seeing with your own eyes? The world of optical illusions has baffled humanity for ages and continues to do so. With the emergence of the internet and social media, we're now able to share these illusions with ease and try to figure them out together. Whether the image is artificially generated or a real photo, we can always question what we're seeing. In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 optical illusions and their explanations. Now let's get into today's video. Starting off with the classic is the dress debacle of 2015. This was one of those ones that had us all trying to figure out if we were colorblind or if the internet was just playing a trick on us. According to an article from Slate, the photo of the dress was taken by a woman named Cecilia Bleasdale, who intended to wear it to her daughter's wedding. A couple of weeks later, the image was shared on the social media site Tumblr, where it started its journey to virality. People soon began discussing whether or not the dress was blue and black or white and gold.
What?
To those of us who saw the dress as black and blue, the answer seemed pretty obvious. But for others, the lighting made all the difference. It's said that most vision experts and scientists would agree that on a basic level, people use color information to distinguish one object from another. An example of this would be being able to easily distinguish and pick a lemon off of a tree due to its bright yellow hue being in stark contrast to the green foliage surrounding it. However, the color information that reaches our brains must still be processed before it can be interpreted. A mix of wavelengths come together and bounce off of objects in the world and reflect a color back to us. As for the color you see, well, that's more to do with the mix of the color of the object being viewed, as well as the light source surrounding it. In short, the photo of the dress was taken in poor lighting, which led to some perceiving the dress's colors as if they were in a shadow, while others would see it as being lit from overhead. Alas, in a quest to prove the color of the actual dress, people began scouring the internet for the now infamous article of clothing. And what do you know? It was found for sale on a clothing site called Roman Originals, and finally it put an end to the speculation about the dress's color. Or has it? Let me know what you guys think. Was it obvious to you that the dress has always been black and blue, and that people were just overthinking it? Or do you still think it's gold and white no matter what they say? Let me know. Next up is this image right here. This is one of those trippy ones that have you staring at it all the while wondering if the image is moving or not. I can assure you though, it's not. At first glance, it appears as though each circle is rotating. That is, until you look at one circle by itself instead of trying to take in the picture as a whole. Try it for yourself. Did the circle you focused on stop moving for you when you narrowed your sight to just one circle, or do they all still appear to be moving? The image was inspired by a previous work called Rotating Snakes, created by Japanese psychologist and professor Akiyoshi Kitaoka back in 2003. The image belongs to a class of optical illusions called the peripheral drift. Peripheral drift illusions are images that appear to show movement, but are in fact static images. The secret behind the phenomenon lies in that of our peripheral vision.
In my peripheral.
Our brains process high contrast elements like black on white faster than low contrast ones like black on gray. It's said that the lapse in mental read time is ultimately what causes the illusion of motion within the image. Furthermore, it appears to be moving because our eyes are moving in an attempt to process what's being seen. If we isolate our vision to just a singular part of the image instead of the image as a whole, the movement would cease to exist. Another picture designed to confuse your eyes is this crosshatch style image. This image first appeared in a scientific journal called Perception back in the year 2000. The image was designed by Jacques Nino and Kent A. Stevens and was displayed as figure 5 in the article titled Variations of the Hermann Grid, an Extinction Illusion. According to an article by Business Insider, the image later went viral after Professor Kitaoka shared it on Facebook and a game designer by the name of Will Kerslake reposted it on Twitter, now known as X. The image is a play on the original Hermann grid discovered by physiologist Ludimer Hermann back in 1870. This image, much like the last one, shows just how our peripheral vision plays tricks on us. When looking at the photo overall, you may see a few black dots in various places where the crosshatches meet. How many do you see? At first glance, you may see 3 or 4 dots going horizontally across the center. But upon further inspection, you'll see 4 more dots at the top row and 4 on the bottom row, for a total of 12 black dots. Once you see them, it becomes clear, but our brain is not able to process all 12 dots simultaneously. The trickery of this image lies in the fact that our brain misses small details when looking at an overarching image, versus when we single in on a small portion of it, we're able to better comprehend it. The study goes on to show that the same effect occurs when the image's colors are inverted, and different effects may be seen depending on whether you look at the image on a sheet of paper versus on a phone or computer screen. A lot of other factors come into play as well, like surrounding lighting, screen brightness, and more. It's pretty interesting how it all works, and the study dives more in depth on the topic, so I'll link it for you down below if your inner nerd wants to check it out. Now this one is less about peripheral vision and more about the magic of camouflage. If you've ever lost your phone before we had the wealth of Find My Phone apps that we have today, then you may find this one to be quite hilarious. The photo was posted to Facebook by JMA Cruz Estigoy back in 2016 as she asks her followers to find her phone. Take a look at this image. Can you find the hidden phone? At first glance, many may be looking on and under the table for it, but if you look a little closer, you'll see the phone laying upside down to the right of the table. You see it? The iPhone is flipped upside down and has a floral print phone case on it. This one really requires no fancy explanation other than the floral print on the phone case nearly matches the print of the rug. The solution to this I Spy style type puzzle? Well, let's just say this person may want to invest in a different style of phone case, or maybe even a new rug. Otherwise, they can keep both and just find a better place to sit their phone when they aren't using it. This one was pretty funny to me when I first saw it, so I just had to share it with you guys. Last on this list is one that will have you pondering your spatial reasoning. Let's check it out. This picture features 2 flower-like images. The one on the left depicts a small orange circle surrounded by large blue circles that resemble the petals of the flower. On the right, the inverse is true. A large orange circle surrounded by smaller blue ones. Right? Well, at first glance, this would appear to be the case. But upon closer inspection, you realize it is in fact an optical illusion, and both orange dots are actually the same size. This image is what's classified as an Ebbinghaus illusion. An Ebbinghaus illusion is a class of optical illusions that test our perception of size. This is often done in relation to other objects. The theory was discovered by German psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus in the late 1800s and was popularized by British psychologist Edward B. Titchener in 1901. Due to Titchener popularizing the image, it's also sometimes referred to as Titchener circles. Another great example of this would be in photos like this, where you go to buy a product and they place a coin or a pencil next to the item to give potential customers an idea of what the actual size of the product is. Without these types of pictures, if you don't read the descriptions thoroughly, well, let's just say you'll order a suitcase and when it arrives, you'll realize it's merely a makeup bag. This is an extreme example, although many people can attest to ordering items online only to be disappointed in what actually arrived. Needless to say, our perception of the sizes of things really does improve when we have something else to compare it to. This illusion is deceptive to the eye because if you were to take away all the blue dots and place the orange dots side by side, or even stack them on top of each other, you'd quickly see that you've been fooled. So take this as a PSA. The next time you order things online, remember the ever so clever Ebbinghaus illusion. There's no doubt that sometimes our eyes play tricks on us, and at times we may have to do a double take to assess things more clearly. There are hundreds of more optical illusions out there that I could cover that'll have you flabbergasted.
We were flabbergasted.
So let me know if you want to take a look at some more, and I'd be happy to make a part 2 to this. I want to hear from you guys. Which was your favorite optical illusion on the list? Are you still skeptical about the blue and black dress debacle? And did the rotating snakes image actually look like it was moving to you? Let me know. If you found this video educational or entertaining, it would be
delightful, really delightful.
If you would like, share, and hit that subscribe button for more content.
Don't worry, I'll wait.
As always, thanks so much for watching, and until next time, keep learning.